what's up, girl? What is up? Hey guys, sorry, that was crazy. Satan really hates it when I'm about to say something that is really gonna help people. When I start having technology problems with my phone, I'll even be in phone conversations with people and the phone will just start crackling. I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm about to drop something. So this lets me know that what I'm about to say is actually very important. Hey, so yeah, there's been a lot of interference being run on my technology platforms in this last week because there's been some serious things that I've been dropping for people. But what I wanted to say to you guys was this: is that it's probably good that it cut out because I was starting to get kind of teary. In this last year, a lot of people close to me have come to terms with the fact that alcohol is not just a fun thing that they do on the weekends, but it's actually a problem. And this has been with close friends of mine, and then people who are close to people in my life. And there's been addiction even in my own family. And I say this because alcoholism is not something that if you haven't been touched by it in some sort of way, or there isn't somebody close to you that's been touched by it, you're extremely lucky. Because statistically speaking, 1 out of every 10 children in the U.S. Grows up in a household with one alcoholic parent. Alcohol is the number 2 cause of death in the United States. And so during the holidays, if you look statistically at suicide rates don't go up, but seasonal depression does go up because people feel more isolated than ever. They are financially strapped because we've got Christmas so twisted. And this may not be something that you guys want to hear, but I'm just going to put it out there. The fact that we've gotten so far away from what Christmas is supposed to be about, which is quality time with friends and family, not being busy, not busyness and spending money, but actually preparing yourself for next year and spending time with people that matter. We actually put ourselves under more duress, and it's because of the way we're being marketed to, and it's because of because of what the attack that's coming to you by the retailers. Retailers are counting on the fact that you are by this time of year tired, and now it's like, oh, I've got to get presents, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And for many people who find themselves estranged from their families, rejected by their families, or having any sort of conflict with families, it's hard enough. Now when you compound that with someone that struggles with alcoholism, this time of year is a trigger. And it shouldn't matter if you're a person that struggles with it or not. If one person that you are connected to struggles with it, it's also your problem. Because we as human beings, we're connected to people, and it's our job when one person is struggling with something, if we know about that, we are to come alongside them and help them. And so because Thanksgiving and Christmas and this time of year, we are so encouraged. It's almost like if you don't go out and get white girl wasted or white boy wasted, and sorry who that offends, I love that term. I think it's hilarious because I'm keeping it real. It is absolutely true. Okay, it's like there is such a thing as white girl wasted. All right, I'm a white girl. I'm telling you, it's true. Okay, so I know it's not politically correct, but it's a fact of life. So I want to take a stand because people I care about and who have been like brothers and sisters to me, and people who are brothers and sisters to people that I care about, are struggling with this holiday season. And this is something that I sort of started thinking about, last week. And I woke up this morning and I was like, I need to do this because I feel like even right now in this moment, people are struggling and they're thinking and they're stressing out. People who do struggle with addiction are stressing out about having to see their parents, having to book flights, the financial duress that puts them under. And so I want to do something about it. And I want us as a community to do something about it. And so because it's so powerful, not just when someone that has the same thing that we're struggling with comes in agreement with us and says, I'm going to help you fight this battle, but when people who aren't struggling with the same thing that we are, but love out of an act of love, or like, if you're struggling with this, it's also my struggle. If this is a problem for you, it's also a problem for me, and let me come alongside you. It's powerful because it removes all the shame, all of the guilt, all of the feelings of I'm not good enough or I'm just weak, because guys, every single person is struggling with something. It's just that when it comes to overeating or it comes to alcohol, a lot of times it shows outwardly, right? Most people, when they're struggling with something, the luxury is it can remain hidden. You can hide it. If an alcoholic walks into a bar and starts drinking, it's on the surface. And so what I want to do is I want to do a holiday challenge. I want to set up a holiday challenge, and you guys can join in. It's not something you have to do. It's not a fitness thing. I want to call it ACDC. That's going to be the hashtag, the Ashley Conrad drinking challenge. There we go. Hold on. Let me get my words together. Ashley Conrad drinking challenge, and I want to start it on Friday. Starting Friday, what I want to do is starting with the hashtag. Anything that you would do, anytime that you would during this time of year be out in a bar drinking, I want you to show me. I want to create kind of a viral effect where instead of drinking, you're going to the gym. Like instead of going over the homies and you guys are cracking open a 12-pack, like shoot videos of you guys doing push-ups. Like, what are you doing as an alternative? And it doesn't have to be because you're an alcoholic or somebody close to you is an alcoholic, just as a health choice. Alcohol is the number 2 cause of death in the United States. It's not good for you. And I'm not going to sit here on a soapbox and say, well, no one should ever have a sip of alcohol ever again, because each person has the free will to choose. But I feel like my responsibility with the platform that I have and with the people that are close to me is to stand up and say, hey, listen, this doesn't have to be a way of life. And just because everyone else is doing something, it doesn't mean you need to be doing it. And given the fact that depression is at an all-time high this time of year, this is when you feel even the slightest amount of depression, alcohol is the absolute worst thing that you could be putting into your body. The best thing you could be doing is going to the gym. The best thing you could be doing is being surrounded by other people who are also trying to be healthy. And so if this is something that you guys want to partake in, my vow is that between now and through January 1, I am going to go 100% alcohol free, and I will be using the hashtag and posting photos of me and my homies following that lifestyle during the holidays. And I hope that you guys will join me in this, because like I said, whether you struggle with addiction or not, this time of year is difficult for people. I know that because I'm getting direct messages about it. I know that because I've gone through hard times during this time of year. It's confronting, it's cold, and I feel like the best thing that I can do with the voice that I have is encourage you guys to not be like other people and to not buy in to the fact that people make money off of you being dysfunctional this time of year, off of you being exhausted and running around like a damn chicken with your head cut off, not even thinking about what you're doing. And so by the time you actually get to spend time with people you love, you actually need a drink. You need a pacifier. It's like a baby that needs a dang pacifier in their mouth. Guys, we're smarter than that. We're smarter than that. We weren't designed to have anxiety. We weren't designed to be looking at what the world is trying to force feed us and being like, oh yeah, I'm on board with that. And I am so tired of getting direct messages from people who are being pressured in social situations by their friends because they're just trying to make a healthy choice by not drinking, and then being shamed. Okay, I am tired of it. It actually pisses me off. You can see I'm pissed. It really makes me mad. And I don't get mad easily, especially because you have no idea if that person is not drinking because privately they've come to a place within themselves where they've realized that potentially it's an issue, or they've realized that when they drink, it triggers their depression that they have suffered with and battled their entire life. And so, this holiday season, so if you want to do this with me, you can use the hashtag. I'm thinking about doing like either, I think ACDC hashtag or ACD, like ACD, like the ALS challenge, ACD challenge, and use that hashtag and post photos of like, you know, I want to do it as like a this, not that. Like instead of going to the bar, I brought my friends to the gym. And, you know, here we are doing push-ups. Here we are watching football or whatever sports thing, and we're drinking water, not alcohol. And you know, my goal and my hope is not to sit here and cast shame on people who are drinking, but for those of you who do struggle with depression, who do have family members that are struggling with addiction, and who are yourself battling an addiction, I want you to know, like, you have people in the trenches and in your corner who are rooting for you and are coming alongside you. Because as a Christian, that's who Christ was. That's who he was. So for us to go into a holiday season when our brothers and sisters are actually suffering, and all we're thinking about is how much money we need to spend on people, when there are people all around us that are battling something, our job is to go to war with them, to do anything we can to help them. That's who Jesus was. That's what nobody wants you to know. You know, it's like nobody wants you to know that that's actually what Christianity is. So for me, that's who I want. That's my vow this holiday season. I want to go to battle with people. And if you're a person that is suffering with anything, I want you to know that I'm with you, I'm for you, and you're not alone. And that there are people that just because I don't struggle with depression and I don't struggle with these things, it doesn't mean that I don't struggle with something. Everyone's struggling with something. You know, and it's powerful when we support one another. It's powerful. Nothing that you're struggling with needs to be most people don't get help for things that they're struggling with soon enough because they feel like they're going to be judged and they feel ashamed. There's no reason for any human being who is going to war against something that is affecting their life negatively to ever feel ashamed, ever. Not ever, ever, ever. And any person who would judge you, even in the least bit, because you're struggling with something and you're fighting, it's only because whatever they're struggling with is even worse. And you being so open and honest and forthcoming and going to war is holding up a mirror to them that they're not fighting whatever they're battling. You know, so I just wanted you guys to know, I mean, it's been something that's been brewing in me, and in the last month, I can't tell you how many calls I've got from people telling me that someone close to them has relapsed, that they hadn't drank in X amount of years, or, you know, and suddenly they just decided to pick up a drink, and it just hurts me. It deeply disturbs me. See what you guys are saying. You fine? You know, it should disturb all of us. It should disturb all of us to think about somebody being depressed and the bottle being their only friend during this time of year. When people go, you know, hold on one second. I just need to plug my phone in. Hang on. Christmas is not about a tradition. Christmas is not about... Santa Claus was never intended to be a part of Christmas. Spoiler alert. All of that, I'm so blessed that the way that I grew up, that I had great Christmases. But as we got older, my family, you know, after 18 years old, after high school, and my brother was... The way that we spent our Christmases was very chill as a family. It wasn't about presents. It was about actually just being still and spending time together and eating waffles together and hanging out and going to church. And that was it. I'm blessed that my mom and dad got it right, that that's what Christmas was about. And the pressure that we feel is because we've gotten away from what Christmas is about. Christmas Christmas is about the teachings of Christ. And the teachings of Christ were very instructional about how we are to treat one another and come alongside one another. And that's what this time of year should be about. It shouldn't be about going and getting blitzed in a bar. Listen, the bar's still going to be there in 6 months. The food is still going to be there. The excess is still going to be there. You don't need an excuse to go and be excessive. You can be excessive any day of the week. You have free will as a human being. So all the messaging that comes towards you this time of year, trying to encourage you to be excessive, guess why that is? Because people want you, marketers, brands, everyone wants you to feel as out of control as possible, because that's when people start spending money, spending. You're being controlled. The terms are being dictated to you. You're not dictating the terms of your own life. And so where does that leave you then January 1? It leaves you hungover, feeling like crap about your body, and then in a financial hardship. So then you start the new year feeling like crap about yourself, then needing, out of a shame spiral, needing to spend more money, and you go spend money on a gym membership that you're not even going to use after 2 weeks. And the cycle continues. I want to help you stop the madness. Stop the madness. I'm not saying that Santa Claus is bad. I'm not saying that people shouldn't celebrate Christmas. But what I'm saying is please, let's keep the main thing the main thing. And if you're so busy doing all this stuff out here to miss the fact that there's any person, any coworker, your boss, anyone in your boss's family who is struggling with anything this holiday season, your job is to go and help them first, not presents and a bunch of BS and stressing out about a holiday party and, oh, this person's wife is going to be there. What am I going to wear? Because last time I saw her, she shaded me, and this person over here said this to me, and they're going to be at this person's house, and I've got to go there. And all that craziness. I want to encourage you to just stop right where you are right now in this moment and assess where you want to be January 1. Where do you want to be in your mind? Where do you want to be in your body? Where do you want to be in your relationships? And I want you to keep in mind that if you are a person that is lucky enough to not, it's more likely, I can't tell you, it's more rare that I meet someone or I work with someone who hasn't struggled with depression, or who hasn't struggled with an addiction, or who hasn't struggled with an eating disorder. 95% of people I work with have struggled, in a lot of cases, with all three. We need to start putting our big girl and big boy pants on and looking outside of ourselves and looking around at the people who are around us who need help and who need support. And just because someone is fighting for themselves and it seems like they've got something out of control does not mean that you do not need to go and get in the water with them and help hold them up when they're tired of treading. I mean, I cannot tell you, even in my own life, how many moments that I have come to where if someone had not been there who cared enough about me to be like, I know you're tired, I'm going to help you fight, I would have gone all the way under. So who you are during this time of year, I want you to keep something in mind that, I remember my mom saying to me a long time ago when I was still in high school, I was a senior in high school, and she said, and at that time I was like the area I grew up in, I was a big fish in a little pond, so like with sports and everything, I would never sit here and be like, I was such a stud athlete. Like, I was a big fish in a little pond. Yes, I played basketball at USC and all of that, but the reason that, I was in a small area, Monterey County isn't like LA County. But I remember I was leaving the house one night to go out with my friends, and my mom said, Ashley, come here a second. I said, yeah. And she goes, and I was going to a party, and she said, I want to tell you something. And I said, okay. She said, I want you to know that every person at that party is going to be looking at you. And kids who are younger than you are going to be looking at you, and they're going to be watching everything you do. And whatever you do, they will do. They will think that something is okay because they're watching you do it, and because you think it's okay. And she said, I need you to just be aware of that. that you don't ever get to walk into environments and just be and have people not be observing you. She said people will mimic everything that you do. And I need you to take that very seriously. And from that point forward, I mean, that hit me and it stayed with me all these years. And you don't have to be a prolific athlete or a fitness, you know, leader in fitness or any of that to have an impact on the people around you. People get themselves into trouble because they feel like what they're doing, like they're watching someone else do it, so they think it's okay. And I'm not saying that drinking alcohol isn't okay for some people, but what I am saying is if there's one person at a party who's privately struggling, imagine the power of them being able to stand next to someone who isn't drinking because they understand that it's just not good for them. It's going to make them feel supported, even if there's not a conversation to be had. And that's what my mom said to me that day, and she was absolutely right. She was absolutely right. And years later, you know, being friends with Jay and Christy Hazlip, same thing. I mean, they explained to me like the responsibility that comes from leading people, not just as a pastor, but as a leader. You need to take, you know, they've really taught me you need to take complete ownership that whatever you do, if you're in any position of power or influence, people will do that thing. Because if they think that you have an answer for them to be helped or for them to be better or for them to break bad habits or anything, they will literally emulate everything you do. And that's with all of us, you guys. You don't realize how much you're impacting the people around you, the power that you hold. And so this is like a rally cry from me to you. Please consider this. You know, because when you think about one person, even me impacting one person on this live stream, that one person goes to a party and impacts 5 more people. Those 5 people impact 10 more people. Like I have this vision of like how many people could we actually stop? Imagine if on January 1, you knew you stopped one person from falling back into an addiction. Just by you bossing up and putting your big boy, big girl pants on and going, I don't need, by the way, if you can't go 2.5, or where are we? 2 months? Not even. A month and a half without alcohol, something that you maybe more seriously need to look at for your own life. And that I'm just going to call a spade a spade. If it's like, oh my gosh, a month and 6 weeks without alcohol during the holidays, if that's a problem for you, then I'm glad that you're on this live stream or you're watching this on YouTube right now, because maybe you just needed to hear me say just that to you, you know? So, in any case, the hashtag is going to be ACD challenge. Okay. ACD challenge. You guys can start using it. You can start DMing me about it, and let's just like get this thing going. And, you know, for every person that's on here who grew up in a home with a parent or, you know, who was an alcoholic, and because I know I was like doing the math and I'm like, wow, if 1 out of every 10 people on my social media following grew up in that home, that's like thousands of people. You know, if you're one of those people or you're currently struggling, I want you to know that I am for you, and you can beat whatever it is that you are battling in this moment. You can beat it. You can beat it. You can beat it. You can beat it. Okay, so you guys, that's all I wanted to say for right now. I have got to get on a couple more calls and get my business brain on. But I love you guys, and yeah, more to come.